often that quote unquote fear of public speaking has been because of something that happened in childhood that now is no longer relevant. When you're in love with your offer, again, like I want you to be in love with your talk, I want you to be in love with your offer so much that you want to marry it, then it doesn't feel inauthentic. It doesn't feel salesy or give people the ick. Trusting that I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be with who I'm supposed to be with. It's lessened my sense of self-doubt. It's lessened my sense of anxiety and worry. Share your brilliance. I mean, if not now, when?
Hey everyone, it's Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. A quick message before we dive into today's conversation. You may have been watching the podcast videos but have not had a chance to hit that subscribe button. So if you have ever gained value from our videos, from our conversations, it would mean so much to us if you would hit that subscribe button below right now, or even just give us a like. And what that means is not only does it allow us to grow our subscriber base, but it allows us to bring in more important guests for you to listen to. And you will be one of the first ones to be notified. So please hit that subscribe button and let's get started on today's conversation. Welcome to the Pathways to Wellbeing podcast. My name's Sophia from Sacred You, and I'm really excited because with me on today's episode is the beautiful and amazing Leisa Reid. So welcome, Leisa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me in your space. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you. And I'm really excited because we're talking about a topic that a lot of women and also entrepreneurs have a lot of resistance to start with, and that is like public speaking. And Leisa, you are very well experienced in public speaking. You've delivered over 600 talks. You're an author of quite a few books, of 9 books, and you run an entire speaking network. So I'd love to start, Leisa. Can you tell us about you? Take us back to the beginning and what first inspired you to take that step onto stage.
I am not one of those people who had that fear of public speaking ever. I don't, it didn't get me, but I do understand that it affects other people. When I became a public speaker professionally, it was in 2013, and I was approached by a company to speak on their behalf about mindset. And I already was really in love with the work that they did. I had received a lot of benefits myself from the workshops I had taken with them. So it's something I really believed in. And I think that's true for a lot of people. When it's something you can really talk about and you're really educated about and you believe in it, that helps erase a lot of the resistance and fear when it comes to speaking. I knew that what I was going to be sharing would be really helpful for other people, which also, especially when we're really heart-centered and purpose-driven entrepreneurs or professionals, that makes a huge difference in lessening that fear, lessening that resistance. So my very first year, I booked 83 speaking engagements in my local area and brought in hundreds of clients to that organization, that company. And then I continued to repeat the process over and over again. And within the first 6 months, I started the network, which is now called the International Speaker Network, because I didn't want to keep doing it all alone. Yes, I'm speaking on stage alone, but all the behind the scenes stuff, just like you've created an amazing community. I thrive in community. And why should we do stuff by ourselves when we can link arms with other people and make it easier?
I totally agree. You know, we have a world out there that we're not meant to be alone, not just in our personal life, but in our social life and our careers and our business, being an entrepreneur. It's hard enough running things, but there's so many people out there who can help us when we collaborate, when we connect and help each other. So I totally agree with that. Thank you. And why do you think, in your experience, that for people who do have that fear, And congratulations for not doing that, for just stepping into your power straight away. But for people and for women who do have that fear, why do you think it keeps them from taking that step?
I think it's an old habit that just hasn't been looked at. And a lot of times we are just assume that we have a fear of public speaking when we don't actually have a fear of public speaking. It sounds acceptable. It's like people joke about it. People just get used to thinking that about themselves. But when you become an adult and you really brought some awareness to that statement, I think most people would probably be able to dissolve that pretty quickly. And why I say that is often that quote unquote fear of public speaking has been because of something that happened in childhood that now is no longer relevant. And it could mean something, the way communication was in a household, through parenting, through siblings, through just friends. It could be something at school. There's a lot of reasons for children to not feel safe expressing themselves verbally. You don't want to be made fun of, maybe you don't want to get in trouble. All these, just so many things that happen to us as kids can dampen our voice. But the mistake is when we then take that into our adulthood, just like any other limiting belief, any other issues that we have, and we continue to act as if it's still true. When
Yes.
we're like, wait, I know about this particular topic. I know it inside and out. I've been studying, or I have degrees, or I have certifications. Of course, I have information I could share with people confidently, right? And so when we are able to have that level of awareness around that fear is when we can dissolve it pretty darn quick.
Mm. And it's so very true. We take so much from our childhood
Yeah.
into our adult life now,
Yeah.
and it
Totally normal.
definitely affect our speaking
Yeah.
wherever it is. Thank you for sharing that. And there's lots of other myths too. Like I know there's a myth that you have to be a really polished speaker. You have to really know your stuff to be really effective. But
Yeah.
what are some other misconceptions that you've experienced about what makes a great speaker?
I think we can get stuck in that perfectionitis, thinking that every slide needs to be perfect and every word and memorize what we're going to say and say it just so. I've seen people read their talks virtually. I know they're reading. I can tell. Even if it sounds natural, I can still tell when someone's reading.
Yes.
But we often just make mistakes thinking that we need permission to speak or that someone's going to say to us, oh, you're ready. And in the world of entrepreneurialism, you are the one to say you're ready. You are the one to put yourself out there. So mistakes can be, oh, I have to pay my dues, or it's going to take a long time. I'm not ready yet. I don't have enough certifications or enough qualifications or expertise. But if you've helped even just one person, if you've helped one person with some of the gifts that you give, then you have something to share. I call it like sharing your brilliance instead of brilliance hoarding. We don't want to hoard our brilliance. And just like what you offer in your wisdom circles and all the different ways in which your community members can share their brilliance, we're on the same page. Like the world needs your stuff. They need to hear what you're offering.
Mm. And it's so true. And we have a lot of fear or resistance or beliefs, limiting beliefs that we don't know enough, that we don't have
Yeah.
the experience. But as you said, even if we can just share one thing, that's such a way to start. And tell us more, Lisa. I'd really love to go into your concept of what you think is being a talk doula, which is very interesting. It's a really beautiful name. You hear about so many other doulas, but I've never heard of a talk doula.
Yeah, it's so one of the things that I started offering was right out the gate when I first started my company in 2017 was a get your talk ready to rock session.
Mm.
And what that means is I'll sit with someone one on one and we will create the talk title, description, learning points, and call to action. because we're going to use the talk, use your brilliance to attract your ideal clients. And we want to do it in a way that feels authentic. And as I was going through these sessions, it would feel like we're birthing a baby.
Yes.
And so I always joke, in my world, men can have babies too. It doesn't just mean women, because we're literally birthing your brilliance. Oftentimes, it's something that's been like cooking in the womb, cooking in the soul for quite a while, sometimes decades, and it's dying to come out, but it just hasn't gone through that process yet. We might be holding on to it. Like in the delivery room, the person delivering the baby is doing some work, but there's support for them. And that's how I am. I'm like, I am here to support your brilliance being birthed. And I joke, I'll say, I'll either be the OBGYN, the midwife, the doula, whoever you need me to be in that room to get the baby out safely. I will be there. And it's going to be a beautiful experience, because when your talk is born, it's similar to like cradling a baby and looking it in the eyes and falling immediately in love.
Yeah.
It's undeniable, and it's not a fake thing. It's not inauthentic. It's not perfect, like strategic. It's like you're part of your soul. It's part of you. And I think that's what makes the big difference in the process that I lead people through.
I love that idea. Birthing your baby, even if it's just a talk,
Yeah.
your presentation, things like that. And as you can say, it can be both for women and for men. Can I just take a moment, Leisa, just to really honor you? It's such a wonderful gift, I'll say gift, a wonderful opportunity to be able to help others to bring their passion, their babies, passion to the world.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for that. Now, you mentioned being authentic. So, what role for you does authenticity play in being a speaker, and also, especially for people who speaking from stage, who have something to sell?
So much of it. Honestly, I think the more you are yourself, the better it's going to be, because especially if you're working with people in an intimate setting, like I work with my clients pretty intimately. So if they don't, appreciate my sense of humor, or just somehow don't resonate with who I am as an individual, it's probably not going to work out too well. So I might as well just show up as me, and just show up as, if I'm speaking to, your audience here, just show up as yourself, because the right people will be attracted to you. They can feel you, they hear your voice, they see you. So there's all these senses that are connecting, that frequency is connecting. If you're pretending to be something different or somehow not who you really are, that also can be sensed. And so you might attract the people who really aren't a fit for you, or you might detract the people who are your true ideal clients. And when it comes to your offer, like I had a client who is really giving, which most people in our orbit are also very generous. Excuse me. So it's not a matter of don't share so much. It's often like we're maybe over giving and oversharing, which also can be out of balance. And because we're maybe afraid to receive, or we don't want people to think we're selling or pressuring in any way. But to be fair to our business, we also need to be authentic in, this is a business. This is services that I offer. People pay money for this thing because it's an exchange of energy. Where we get all messed up about it is when it comes to money sometimes. And it's no, this is an energetic exchange. And so when you're in love with your offer, again, like I want you to be in love with your talk, I want you to be in love with your offer so much that you want to marry it, then it doesn't feel inauthentic. It doesn't feel salesy or give people the ick, because your energy is what is being translated. So if you feel icky about whatever it is you're offering, they're going to feel it. Or if you feel confused or whatever, anything that's less than, I love my offer and I can't wait for everyone to take it, they're going to sense that. And we've probably all been in audiences where you're like, that doesn't feel great, or felt
Mm.
weird, or felt confusing. That means the person's probably feeling that way. So it's really important to just get yourself clean and clear in alignment as you are the one on stage leading the group, whether it's virtual or in person stage.
And so very true. If you're not in love with your offer, if you're not clear on what you're offering, then everyone else can feel that, no
Yeah.
matter what you say. So thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, you could say the most perfect words and they're going to be like, huh, no thanks.
Yeah, it doesn't fit, it doesn't align because it's all
Right.
about the energy. Okay. And what about for someone who is on the path of speaking or wants to get going on creating talks, their signature talk? What are some really key elements for them to use or to know in order to create a very strong and authentic
Yeah.
signature?
How I work it is I go backwards. So we start at the end first, and the end is your call to action.
Yes.
Think of it as if you were creating a tour, like you were a tourist attraction, something you were going to lead people on. You want to make sure you know where the tour is going because then they're going to get on your tour bus or your boat or your bike or whatever it is, however you're getting them to the tour, the ship, and they want to get to that destination. So you want to be really clear about where's the final destination. Then you work backwards from there. And often I will say, focus on three main points in your talk. Three is just a great number. You can expand it, you can make it shorter or longer. And then once you decide what your three main points are going to be, which I call like your learning points, what's the audience going to get out of your talk? Then you can write your description, a couple sentences. Then you can put your title on it. So a lot of times people start backwards, the wrong, like they start with their title. And I'm like, how can you have a title if you don't even know what you're going to talk about yet? So I do, we go backwards.
And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So talking about a call to action, Lisa, tell me, what is your call to action?
I have multiple ones,
Okay.
which I recommend. Oftentimes I'll refer to that as your monetization menu. But for today, a call to action on a podcast, you would want something timeless, evergreen. You'd want something simple. You want the audience to be able to go, oh, I can remember that while I'm driving or getting ready in the morning or going about my day. So you want to make it really clean, really simple. You want to make it attractive to the people who would best benefit from your expertise. So, for an example, mine today would be the 5 top tips to get more speaking gigs now. Because if you are listening to this show and you thought, oh, I'm public speaking, I'm interested in that, then you would probably want more tips than I'm even offering today. And you can get those at getspeakinggigsnow.com/tips. And I'll repeat it again. It's getspeakinggigsnow.com/tips. And even as I do this, we're going to just talk about what I just did, right? So you want to make it really clear what the audience is going to get. Nice, short, attractive title. You want to pass the grocery store test. If I was standing in line at the grocery store and someone asked me, how can I get a hold of you, or where can I get more tips from you? You could say it without having to look it up. You want to give them that nice QR code. You want to repeat it a couple times so they get it. You want to speak slower so that they can write it down or process what you're saying. So all those are things I just demonstrated.
And for everyone who is watching or listening, do click on those links below
Yeah.
and get Lisa's 5 top tips. So thank you. Thank you. And Lisa, when you first mentioned, or you mentioned that when you first started, it was all about mindset. Would you like to be able to share? Would you share any mindset shifts or language shifts that can really help speakers feel more confident when they're out there on the stage or in front of a microphone?
Yeah, it's something I call speaker's kryptonite, like in the speaker world. And it might sound something like, I need to do more research, or I'm not ready yet. What if I blow it? What if I look stupid? What if nobody buys my stuff? What if I make a mistake? So there's all these different language thoughts that can come into our mind as we're venturing into something new different, something we've never done before. And everyone has their own version of speaker's kryptonite. We have multiple thoughts going on in our head that can keep us from moving forward. So I usually suggest 3 steps like discovery, diagnosis, and dissolving. So discovery would be, what are my thoughts that are coming up? Can I catch them? Can I even hear them? Can I notice them? So that's your discovery step. So I like, that's why I threw a few examples out. Everyone's got different ones. They all sort of sound a little different to you. Once we can discover them, then we can start to dig a little bit more. Let me diagnose that. Where did that come from? That's interesting. Why did that thought come out of my mouth? What do I believe? For example, I need to do more research is a common one. Research about what? There's endless research you could do these days on the internet. You could just be down a million rabbit holes for years and never have enough research, right? So what exactly do I need to research and have I already done it? And I think I'm okay. So you have to dig a little more. Where does this come from? It might be something from your childhood, might be something from a bad experience that you had or a negative experience. And then as we go through the discovery process, we go through the diagnosis process, then we can start dissolving it. And that's where we discover what's our antidote to this. I know that I tend to like to research things. I've already done some research. And what I also know about myself, like this is the antithesis of that, is I'm divinely connected. And if there's more information that I need, it's going to come to me because I'm really open and I'm grounded. And so I'm giving like an example of what else do you know about yourself that's really a truth that you can rely on. And regardless of those other distractions or those other voices or thoughts that are keeping you from sharing your brilliance.
Thank you for sharing that. And it makes so much sense. It's so true to really to discover and to diagnose any issues and then to dissolve them, to get rid of any of the issues that are holding us back. And we can also use that whole concept in our personal life too.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, not just for speaking. And
100%.
yes, and for you, Lisa, if I can ask you a personal question or something, how has public speaking, doing what you do, how has that transformed your life, both personally and even spiritually?
Oh, so many ways. The people who I've met and been connected to, not just clients, but friends and colleagues and mentors, people who've I've reached out for help as well for business and personal things. And spiritually, I went on a long journey too. We're always on the journey, it's not done yet. But leaning more into the divine support that I know that I have all the time and trusting that I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be with who I'm supposed to be with. It's lessened my sense of self-doubt. It's lessened my sense of anxiety and worry. Yeah, and increased my level of trust,
Yeah.
increased my level of awareness of who I am and what I get triggered by and how quickly I can shift it in the moment on stage, like literally. So it's a beautiful thing.
It is, and you can see the effect that it has had on you
Oh,
and how
thank
you
you.
can share that with the world, both online and also on stage. So thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thank you
welcome.
ever so much. And if you could whisper just one thing in the heart of anyone who is really a little bit too scared to speak their truth, what would you say?
Share your brilliance. If not now, when? I have a client who's in her 70s and she confessed to me she'd been wanting to speak for her whole life since she was a child. And she said, if I don't do this now, I don't know when I'm going to do it.
And it's so very true, even at 70.
Yeah.
Again, I'd just like to acknowledge you for helping people like that. Doesn't matter, and it shows, it doesn't matter how old you are.
No.
You have that little desire to be able to share something, but whatever it is that's holding you back, reach out to Lisa, who is a wonderful example of how your life can transform when you just get out there and talk,
Yeah.
sharing your journey. A lot of people, even from my personal experience, Lisa, there's a big difference in reliving our stories. You know, and a lot of people don't think that our journey, our stories are important enough to share with others who would want to listen to this. But yet, so many people take inspiration from everyday people in sharing their journeys because if you can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
So many. So thank you. And I'd love to know, Lisa, before we wrap up, for you, what does speaking on stage feel like?
It feels like timeless. Like it feels like infinity, abundance, excitement, warm fuzzies. It's a glow. I often say it's a drug-free drug. Like if you enjoy the transformation of people and the energy exchange and wow, it's really powerful. It's addictive in the best way ever.
Do you still doubt yourself?
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. Just I'm a human, just like anyone else. Anytime I'm expanding into something bigger, it's a little scary. And then I bring in my own mentors and I lean on what I've already learned and revisit what I know about myself and revisit any lessons that need to be brought back up to the surface, surround myself with support, and keep going anyway.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what about those stage nerves when you're actually speaking on stage in front of a large audience?
Yeah.
How do you overcome those stage nerves?
I don't get them that often. It's knowing like which ones or what it's so funny. Our nervous system is just a funny little thing. What can I say? Some people feel really nervous talking in front of strangers. Other people feel nervous talking in front of people they know. It's very contextual. So sometimes I'm nervous and sometimes I'm not. But I guess in a way, I look at it as exciting. Like to feel that in your body, oh, I don't feel this very often. Okay, that must mean something really cool is about to happen. And I also know about myself, something I know about myself is I will prepare. I'm already going to do what I need to do to be ready. So I can rely on that part of myself. And then at one point, I'm like, I might be nervous going in, but eventually it'll dissipate and I'll be there with them. And that's all that matters.
Mm. Connecting with the audience
Yeah.
at that time and being present with them. Yeah.
And shifting from, I think a lot of times we get so, I can relate to this, so consumed with, I've got to do this and my message and me, when in reality, when you're speaking, it's not, it's about them.
Yeah.
So the more I can be prepared before I step on stage, the less it's about me. And then I'm able to 100% show up for them. And that is the place that I like to be when I'm on stage.
Totally agree with you. Thank you for sharing that. And what lights you up more? Creating a talk or delivering it?
I think delivering it definitely. I'm a writer. I mean, yes, I have books and things like that. So I'm capable of that, but that's not my first love. I'm actually a teacher disguised as a speaker. So it's not even speaking, it's really teaching is what lights me up.
Yeah. Well, and of course, you've got your books. You've got one of your books in the background there, and all your other books are available on your website, which we will be putting the links below. So for everyone who is listening or watching, do click on those links and check out everything that Lisa has to offer. And if you're sitting on the fence and not quite sure, just reach out to Lisa and have a chat.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, Lisa, is there any other question that I could have asked you? And how would you have
No,
answered?
you've been just absolutely gracious and such a generous host. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. Before we go, what does the pathway to well-being mean for you?
I feel like it's keeping balance of the main pillars in life, health, wealth, family, romantic relationship, spiritual relationship. Those are the main things. And keeping all those at good levels. Sometimes one gets a little more attention than the others, but overall, try to balance all those.
Yeah, certainly is. Thank you. And of course, being able to speak helps you keep the balance, whether it's speaking in public or just speaking in relationships, because so many people, and I would have to say a lot of women, have a lot of blockages around their voice.
Yeah.
And learning how to speak or overcoming those blockages will certainly help you in all areas of your life.
Yes. Yeah. My dad would say, be honest quicker. That would be one of the things he would say.
Thank you.
So I try to
Thank
do
you so
that
much
more.
for joining us today. It's really been a wonderful to chat with you all about the joys and I think the benefits of being a public speaker. I said whether it's to thousands or whether it's just to one. So thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today and tuning into our conversation with Leisa, who shared her journey on the benefits of being a public speaker. Personal growth happens when we discover, we diagnose, and dissolve advice that we can use in all aspects of our life to remove whatever it is that is holding us back. And if you would love to explore Lisa's work further, be sure to check out her website and download your own copy of the 5 top tips to get more speaking gigs now. You will find all the details in the links below. For more empowering conversations, tools, and strategies, follow Sacred You on all our social media or visit our website at www.sacredu, that is the letter U, .love. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button or give us a like so that you never miss another episode. In Lisa's own words, always create your talk by starting at the end with a strong and clear call to action. Stay grounded, stay inspired, stay connected, and until next time, keep walking your pathway to well-being.